No, split up the team Saturday.
I don't know if we've officially decided if the kids want to draft again. That was kind of good, and kind of split the seniors. I think we also just got to look at it needs to be a quality day. So what are we trying to get? So would we stay ones on twos? I mean, we're going to do. I mean, when I say ones on twos, ones and ones going together, and twos going together, and basically put the 1-0 and the 2D together. Do you split it up and let them draft it? We got enough numbers out. We do have a few positions. We're a little thin in the O line, where maybe a guy's just got to play on both teams. You got to double dip a little. So we're going to decide tomorrow, and then move forward. If we do split, however we split it up, we'll practice. We're going to have a coaches clinic Friday night, a helmets practice Friday night, and we'll do some of our group work where the kids kind of play with their groups and get some timing of defense and offensive game and whatnot. So we'll see. Plan would be hopefully to split it like we did last year. Don't know if I can guarantee that yet. That's the plan.
What have you liked out of the receivers so far during the course of the spring?
Yeah, I think we're getting some competitiveness, a little tougher, a little stronger. We did because we do lose some size. I think we hit the weight room good. Those guys need to get a little bit bigger, stouter. So, like even if some of our individual drills early, guys like Shane are a little bit more physical than they were a year ago because they're just, and that's a small person, but he's getting bigger, stronger. So, we're still a little inconsistent. We're making a few more competitive plays, not as many as you want. I mean, so when a guy's wide open and you've got a really good call or they bust a coverage and you're wide open, that's easy. But when you really got to, make a competitive play with the guy on you and get leverage and get out of a break and here comes the ball and here's the defender and it's a bang bang play, how many plays you make those? And we're making more than we've made, but to be really good, we got to make a lot of those competitive plays. And same thing defensively, we need competitive pass breakups. So I'd just like to see him be a little bit, I think that's just more time on task. And I do think with our numbers, though, you have Jay Sean's not here, and Corey Kill and Simi Cobbs. I think you would see those guys. We did have Jordan Fuchs has had a slight concussion that's missed about 3 days of practice. We were trying to work him a little bit as a tight end, but also as a big outside guy. That's kind of got put on the shelf. I'd like to get back to there. We'll see if that can happen before spring ends. So, work in progress. I see some good things.
Will Nick Stoner be able to play in the spring game? I saw him out here in a boot.
He just had a turf toe deal. So those can be a little bit. It's a small deal, but at the same time, when you can't push off the big, joint of the ball joint there of your toe, it's can limit you. So hopefully he can, but you just got it in practice Saturday, had a good day Saturday, but was limited today. So we'll see. Hopefully we can get him back. We'll see.
In terms of some of the things you really wanted to see coming into the spring, what have you seen, heading into the last few days now?
Well, I think we're at the part of the spring, too. Again, we need to kind of finish strong. We're not near good enough. Nothing major, but a few more guys out. You got 4 or 5 old linemen that are coming off things, whether it be last year or minor things, like with Stoner and the turf toe, that you want some. Bobby Richardson got a slight ankle sprain the other day, so he's a little limited today. There's a point in time where, where our team is, you still just need work. And we do have a lot of numbers. We can still have a good practice, but some of these guys need work. So how do we keep them healthy? How do we keep them tough without beating ourselves up? You don't want to increase injuries, and you also can taper back so much that you get a little softness in your team. So it's the time of the year with spring ball, and it's kind of our job as coaches to put them in good situations to enhance confidence and physicalness the right way, and also not get to the point where we get the cheap injuries and guys can't practice. Because when you can't practice, you're going to lose some of that toughness you want. So we got to kind of battle through that. But I do think, again, we are more mature, a lot of guys back. If we had everyone out there, and especially with the signing class, I think we'd look reasonably like we got a chance to be real solid. But a lot of time between, 4 more practices to wrap up spring. We'll need a good summer. We need to get some guys healthy, not major deals. We need everybody full throttle. We need those freshmen in, and we'll be good to go.
Are you seeing your linebackers get off of blocks a little bit better than maybe they have in the past?
I think more than anything, I think with the structure and the way they're doing things, I think our D linemen are cleaner on where they're supposed to go, and I think it's given the linebackers cleaner visions on where they're supposed to fit. I think last year sometimes with some of our youthfulness, there was just some confusion, and there's now hesitancy. I don't know if I'm an A gap player or a B gap, and the guy's getting blocked, and sometimes the D linemen are freelancing or miscommunicating and not getting the call. I think our structure has got us where we're a little bit cleaner in where the D linemen are going. That's got the linebackers playing more aggressive. Plus, you got all the guys back. We didn't really lose anybody, so they're all back, and we lost Jakari. But everybody's kind of back going, and you're seeing some good plays out of TJ's been well. Really impressed with Marcus Oliver. Clyde and Flo are looking good on the edge. So I just think the more those guys play, the more comfortable they're getting. And it's a combination of scheming, understanding, and they're more experienced. So
What are you seeing from the whole running back core, Tevin and LeRae and D'Angelo?
Well, and I like sometimes Andrew Wilson and Anthony Davis, a couple guys who's non, they got a little bit of substance, and sometimes they're actually a little bit. They'll compete with LeRae and D'Angelo and give them a run for their money and maybe being just as good. So right now, prior to our signees getting in, that's kind of those are the five. We try to be smart with Tevin. He gets a little bit. He scored one today, had a long touchdown run the other day. We don't we just don't want to expose him sometimes because our DBs coming up when he hits the open field, they got to go low. I don't like a lot of low tackles. And sometimes they have to. I mean, they're not going to tackle him without going low. So sometimes we just try to give him work at full go up. He gets a little scrimmage. D'Angelo's been okay, a little inconsistent last week. I thought 2 weeks ago, really good. LeRae's learning how to use his speed, but how to become a running back and how to stick it and how to quit dancing and how to quit looking and just how to get behind your pads and get 2 yards, take 2 and get 3. And then sooner or later, you're going to pop one. And sometimes he's getting 2 and getting a 0-1 because he's starting to, he's trying to, every play he wants to take it to the house. And so to him, it's just learning how to play. And again, I'm very pleased with Andrew Wilson and Anthony Davis. They're non-scholarship guys. We did put Anthony on scholarship last year as a walk-on 1-year deal. Those are 2 solid guys that they're 220 pounds, and they're going to play a little bit for us too now.
But your point too, I mean, you know what Tevin can do. I mean, he ended up being one of the more explosive backs in the whole country, and a year ago at this time, that's really not something you could have known for sure.
Yeah, we thought he was decent. I mean, he didn't have the opportunity. I think he did what he led I think his first or second in the country in touchdown runs over 40.
Yes.
And some of that. So, I mean, and he's okay. And he had one the other day at a 79 the other day, just kind of split it down the middle. He's got that. I do think it is tough, though. I think for him to be a great player, and he's not there yet, he's got to do some of those things where as coaches, we don't want to expose him to some cheap hits, but he's got to refine himself, and just, how to get consistently 2 and 3, how to pick up some blitzes, how to catch the ball better. But again, he's a solid player. But as good as he might be, or we think he is, we're going to have to play 2 or 3 backs. And that's why D'Angelo's got to be more solid. LeRae's got to come on. We'll keep complimenting with Andrew and Anthony. And again, we've signed a couple guys with Tommy and Divine coming in. We'll see. It's going to be a position where you're going to see probably 3, 4 of them.
Kevin, where's D'Angelo, stepping up with his leadership role going into his senior campaign?
In some ways he's been good. Once in a while he's a little inconsistent. He can be a little immature off the field and be a little lax once in a while with some small things we want him to do. But he's came so far. To me, he's a guy, we first got here, that I think a lot of people would say, knowing a little bit about him, he would have a hard time making it. He's on track to graduate. He's been a rock-solid guy. He was voted as one of our team leaders in one of our league groups, and he loves to play, and he's kind of matured where he's been, knock on wood, pretty solid off the field. So he's one of my he's always on a little short leash, and we got to kind of keep our eyes on him. But we're about as proud of him as most guys that came through here because he's kind of where he came from and what he's about. He's kind of bought in and grown a lot, so I got a lot of respect for him.
What you mentioned Jordan Fuchs at the beginning. How do you kind of see that tight end spot basically?
Well, we don't have a tight end on scholarship that's practicing, so it's a work in progress. We might be in 4 wides or a couple 3 tailbacks. We might. We just need to figure it out. It's not. We're very fortunate. Cooper is a walk-on. Michael Cooper's okay, a little inconsistent. Sean Damaska, big tall kid's been okay. Anthony Casaro is hurt, so really you would have thought he would have been the starter. And then our 2 scholarship guys are out. So really the guys I'm giving money to aren't doing much work. So, I appreciate my cheap labor. And Coach Pat's doing a decent job. It's a little bit of a rub, and you laugh. We can laugh and crack a little cynical joke at him, but at the end of the day, it can bite you because those kids got to develop.